World Data Lab's data is special in three ways. The first is we can be very granular, very detailed. So it's not just about giving a growth projection for a country like the US or like Indonesia, but it's really knowing, going down into the specific demographic. You know, how many women age 65 have $20 a day to spend, how many men age 27 have $30 a day to spend. So very specific, but then also going beyond the country, going to a county, to a city, even to a building block. That's our capacity and ambition, very detailed, very granular. The second is, we, unlike many others, we look into the future. There's a lot of data that talks about the past and describes what has happened. Our specialty is to think about the future, what might and will happen. And we have a lot of data capacity, data science, modeling to project, again, not in a big picture way, but in a very detailed way, all these segments into the future. And the third part, as our name says, we are the World Data Lab. We can do this for every country in the world. We got quite famous because we had a very granular, detailed poverty model for North Korea. And the point was we can do this for every country. And our data platform have also coverage of more than 99% of the population. World Data Pro is the ultimate platform, the software that brings all of this data together and makes it super easy to use for any client, any scholar, any consumer insight professionals of any company. Think of the time, and some of you have been there, when there was no iPhone or navigator. You had a map, you looked at the map, you knew, okay, here in Vienna I have to go through around the circle to get to a certain road and location. That time has passed because we can use our iPhone, we can use our Google Maps and then navigate through the city. World Data Pro is the same for the consumer insights and the consumer spending industry in total. Everybody, again, those who are interested in poverty, like institutions like the World Bank, other international institutions, charities, as well as those interested in the middle class, have a very simple way to navigate through those consumer spending segments for the next 12 years. The World Consumer Outlook has three important insights. The first is that the global consumer class will grow by 113 million in the year 2024. That's our projection, and our projection have been quite robust. And it's very important because it shows that even in times of crisis, consumer spending and consumer class growth keeps going. And that's why for the first time ever in our history, in human history, we have now reached 4 billion consumers. That's half the world. So the core trend keeps going, and these trends are almost unstoppable. And that is quite an important insight for business and for government policy. The second big insight is that this consumer growth is driven by consumers in Asia. 91 million out of these 114 million will come from Asia, so more than 80%. But it's not just India and China, which are the bulk, but also other fast-moving below-the-radar economies, such as Indonesia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Philippines, and Vietnam. And the third big insight is that there is, however, a big shift in who a future consumer is. Traditionally, the new consumers have been younger, at least below 40 years old, and many of the new consumers, especially the wealthier ones, will be older people. And so we see a big shift, and almost a third of this future consumer spending growth is by older people, often retirees above 65, especially in Western economies. So if you think for a market in Western countries, it's increasingly old people.